shout out to you guys. First of all, like, that's really cool of you, man. That's what it's all about right there. That's legitimately, whether it's comic books, whether it's emo night, like, first and foremost, I was forged in every Warped Tour mosh pit back in the day. August Burns Red, like, right in the temple. Many it's concussions, bring them the horizon before they went softer. You know, that's what it's all about. So thank you guys, first and foremost. Second of all, thank you to my man's Nightwing for this really cool 3D printing. Like, this is really dope, man. I fucking love this. I love this stuff, and this is so super cool.
We talked about it last night. I was like, you know what, fuck yeah. I finished it before I came in today. So.
Today,
Wow, that's
dude.
awesome.
Oh, that's amazing. Anybody who missed it last night, I promise you, we're not gonna get into many arguments.
Yes,
Maybe arguments tonight. My laptop's over here. Megan, can I ask you to grab my laptop because we have. Tonight we are talking about comic book doubles. So we know Marvel did it. We know DC did it. We got Slade Wilson. We got Wade Wilson. You know, we have all these sorts of characters and things that Captain Marvel. Wait, is that Carol Danvers? Is that Shazam? What is it? So we thought, hey, why don't we clear some things up? We talk about it a little bit. It's not going to be so crazy like last night, but
Yes,
you know, I hope it kind of is because I loved arguing last night. It was the best. So first and foremost, if you guys don't know who we are, I am Matt. This is Lauren. This is Megan. Lauren and I do a podcast together called Hopskeep News. We've been doing it for 5 years. It started in COVID. We were raising money for local breweries to support them and their staff during the pandemic when they couldn't pay their staff. We were trying to do that. And we found out that we both hated Game of Thrones ending together.
Well, there's some different feelings on that, but basically we'd be talking breweries and we'd go off on tangents. I didn't hate the Game of Thrones ending, I just didn't love it. I just think it needed more lighting.
No one
you
did.
hated
She
it.
loved Batman v Superman as much as I did.
That's not true. He loves Batman vs Superman.
This is why it got like last night.
When I was a boy.
Overrated. Overrated. It has its charm.
You said it wasn't going to be argumentative?
I told you it was.
I tricked you. Okay, alright, before we
There
get
should be
Let's start
three
with the
microphones.
positive.
Batman vs
Yeah,
Superman
that's
is overhated, but it's also
Not
not.
great.
Not
Not
good.
good.
No, I'm not saying
Let's
it's
start
good.
with the positive.
But
the
it is
Batman
okay.
fight in the warehouse was
Dope.
dreamy.
Alright,
So good.
you're right. I said we weren't going to argue tonight. We're going to save it for later.
No.
So we do
Amount
that.
of Batman, nothing defines him. nothing
Megan
defines him.
here does a really awesome podcast. Why don't you tell them about your podcast?
I have a non-toxic Marvel podcast that means no racism, sexism, homophobia,
Oh, yeah.
all the stuff that runs rampant in all the fandoms. And hi, I'm Megan, Vigilante Vibes.
She does that. She runs a Facebook group called the Nerd Haven.
Yes.
a lot of
Also
people there.
non-toxic, 59,000 people.
She
just
locks it down. It's really actually
She does.
impressive. I'm really impressed.
Yeah.
But
You
aside
get
from
toxic,
that,
she responds.
She does.
She responds fantastic.
and aside from that, the three of us work together. I run TV and film. Megan is my partner in crime, but all three of us also do comic book reviews for nerdinitiative.com. And so we don't know everything. So I'm not going to sit here and tell you that we're experts,
We're
right?
not.
Even Jesus made mistakes, is what I like to say.
Right, we turn water into wine, not beer.
That's true. But we're here to kind of talk about comic books, man. I mean, we're at Comic-Con, GalaxyCon, and I feel like we've almost lost the comic aspect of Comic-Con. Whereas there's right now, I don't know if you guys are up to date on a lot of the comic books out there right now. Absolute series from DC, all in, amazing. Image Comics is doing some of the best comic books. Minor Threats from Dark Horse. We're in like another golden age. So we thought it'd be fun to just talk about who did it first, because there's so many movies. James Gunn's restarting the DCU. We also have Marvel on phase something with Robert Downey Jr.'s coming back. We've got, this won't be as long as the X-Men reveal or the Doomsday, if you will, reveal. Just don't let Zack Snyder touch, you know,
5.5
Avengers.
hours to look at some damn
One second.
chairs.
I don't have it.
Only Marvel can make me sit there and look at some damn chairs.
And none of them
and
said
record
Hugh Jackman.
myself do it. That,
We already know Hugh Jackman's till tonight. They,
he's coming.
Babe, come on.
Yeah.
I hope to God so.
So what do we have first, guys? Why don't we kick with the most obvious one? What is the most obvious one that we kind of have out there?
What do you guys think? What is the most obvious
Yeah.
one?
What do you think's the most obvious? I heard Namor and Aquaman.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's a great one. Go ahead, Wreck-It Ralph.
Quicksilver and the Flash.
Ah.
You don't have to raise your hands. You can just stand up and talk.
So Deadpool and Deathstroke.
So that's the one we're starting with.
Yep. So Slade Wilson and Wade Wilson. It's like they weren't even trying to be subtle. But I feel go
It's
ahead.
about as subtle as Rob Liefeld can draw chests and feet and everything else.
It's true.
I'm trying to have a run right for chest.
But the thing is, you look at Deadpool and Slade Wilson, and you think these are very different characters. But when Deadpool was first introduced, they were not very different characters. We didn't get the fourth wall breaking or anything like that until issue 28 with Deadpool with Joe Kelly and Pete Woods. And that is the first time he broke the fourth wall. Before that, he was a little more serious. So that is what we kicked it off. I saw another hand back there. So who did you have your doppelganger?
Blue shirt.
Catwoman and Black Cat.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Green Arrow and Hawkeye.
Yeah?
Sentry Superman.
Thanos and Darkseid.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a
Oh,
good one.
all these are on the
and
list.
Sentry, we're about to get on.
Century, we are.
Yeah.
Superman thing?
Superman and
Ooh, we do have
With
Man
Swamp
Thing.
Thing
Yes,
and
we have
Swamp
Swamp
Thing.
Thing and Man
Swamp Man
Thing.
Thing.
Yeah.
So-
Same damn thing.
Did we say Shazam and Marvel?
That's probably the most obvious aside from Slade and Wade, right?
I didn't hear what he said. What did he say?
Right.
Captain Marvel, Shazam.
Oh,
So, why don't we start off with some history? Do you have a little bit of tidbit into Deadpool? No, well, Slade Wilson / Deathstroke was actually introduced, obviously, in the New Teen Titans issue number 2 on December 10th, 1980. So, Lauren, when was Deadpool actually first introduced?
New Mutants 98 and 1990, so a whole decade later. But again, like I had said before, it didn't get us to Deadpool 28 where we actually got the Deadpool.
DC always has the better ideas first.
Listen, I'm a DC truther.
Damn.
Ooh.
Not always true.
Not
What
so
are your
much? All right.
feelings on Martha? You're a big Martha fan?
We're literally
I'm a-
dressed up as Batman. No, I'm just saying. Like,
Nightwing, all right. We're keeping it respectful.
We don't
What do you have? You said Ant.
Moon Knight and Batman.
Do we count Moon Knight and
We
Batman?
got, okay, so
All
we
right,
wanna
so
go
let's jump to
Batman?
Moon Knight and Batman. We will jump to Moon Knight and Batman because that's another really big one, right? Batman is perhaps, I know how many Batman comic books are on the shelves right now. They're kind of the
Yeah.
limit does not exist.
But it's
How
only
many versions of
exclusively.
Superman are there?
True. I will say that Batman comics right now, there's Dark Patterns. If you haven't read that, it's about to be 5 issues in. I know it is 5 issues in. Solid. Scott Snyder and what he's doing with the Absolute series, like the Absolute, if you guys don't know,
But it's
I didn't even
totally
know
different than
they
anything that
right. And
Batman
well, that whole Absolute with DC all in is reimagining these heroes' origin stories. So the Absolute series with Batman, first of all, he's an absolute unit. This guy, he's big.
6'3", 220.
He is 220. Like my God, his
He's
chest
like
maybe
introduced
was
to that.
220.
Yeah, mine is.
You're like New 52.
Bro's still like Bro's not like
Yeah.
Derrick Henry.
Derek, this dude is huge. And then they've also released the cover of like Bane with his tiny head.
Bang.
Tiny head.
And
body.
Bane is huge too. And but what Scott's doing is really because he got me back into comic books with the Court of Owls in the New 52. One of the few bright spots in the New 52. I'm a DC guy. They're Marvel, so I'm more DC.
There's some other bright spots.
But there are some bright spots. But you're right. And
Wally or Bart.
Do we count what's going on?
Yeah,
with
you're
Tuesday?
right.
we're not fighting tonight. I said.
He's actually,
Fight.
since Daredevil came back, he's really leaning more towards Marvel.
We almost got tattoos today of Daredevil,
We
so
did.
he can
And they're
calm
like,
down.
we were
We
okay.
should've?
So we were, and
You?
we were gonna get the silhouette of Daredevil, and the guy was like, the minimum was 150, and I was like,
It was this big for a
Sir,
silhouette.
you should be honored. I have a fucking bluey and hot dog tattoo. So to add to this beautiful arm of mine, 150 for a silhouette that's like the size of my will to live?
Don't go to
No.
Don't go to River City.
Yeah, that.
It was
Thank
here.
you. Yeah,
It was-
I go
yeah.
to
Yeah, but it's
Unkindness
fire
Art.
first.
If
Yeah,
anybody's
yeah.
looking for tattoos, Unkindness Art. Not that you came for tattoos. Of
Alright,
course
so
you
go
do.
back to the
Anyways, Batman and they said Moon Knight.
Yes.
Yes.
So Moon Knight, though, so Batman's obviously 1939, so clearly he came first.
Yeah.
Moon Knight wasn't until Werewolf by Night number 32. That was August 75. So I always wondered, maybe it's because I'm not a huge DC fan and I'm more Marvel. Why do
tell you.
people compare Batman and Moon Knight so much? And who, obviously, Batman's more popular.
He was so
100%.
ready
It's
to
the cape
talk.
and mental illness.
Yeah.
I mean, the gadgets.
Yeah.
The cape and mental illness. But that's
Say again?
That, I mean, that's
Moon Knight more
Homelander.
original?
That's
It
like
wasn't
a lot of
Batman,
things.
from what I remember
But
from
not-
talking to Bob Kane years ago, that he stole it from Bill Finger.
Okay, so that's actually good. So Bob Kane and Bill Finger, if you don't know, there was a big controversy. So Bob Kane was always credited with creating Batman, and the first iteration of Batman looked more like Superman. He had a red cape, like it was weird. He was red. It didn't fit the vibe at all. He was more like a vampire, is kind of how they introduced him. And that was in 1939, around the time that Superman was coming out, and they wanted to kind of copy the essence of Superman, if you will. And so after that, they decided to go a different route, and that's where they gave him the purple gloves. And it's still, which you get the purple gloves in some iterations, which Batman Year One I thought was a pretty good storyline.
What's the new Batman show that on
The Kid
Kid
Crusader.
Kid Crusader on Amazon Prime. Yeah, that they has that. Yeah, and so that was like how they reimagined Batman.
Yeah.
And, you know, to kind of diversify him from he's not so much Superman because Superman's vastly different. Did you have something? Oh, I thought you had something. I'm sorry. I thought you're talking a lot.
Why are you so obsessed with me? My God.
Listen, they booed us last night in a good way. Okay, it's gone in my head.
Right.
Okay.
So for me, Batman's doppelganger is Iron Man. Does anybody else feel like that's more?
Well, Bruce Wayne and Iron Man. It's more like a Bruce Wayne versus.
That's a good point. So that's what I said.
So
Bruce Wayne and Iron Man.
So if
Yeah.
Batman didn't feel the need to have like a secret identity, I feel like him and Iron Man would be on the same page. But I feel like Batman gets off on.
But
having
does
a secret identity.
Batman?
I feel like recently Batman's been getting more closer to Iron Man actually, since like the development of his gadgets are leaning less away from his detective skills and more on like what he has access to.
Right. That
Like
makes sense.
Arkham primarily.
Yeah.
That's the best.
Well, and they're both incredibly intelligent, and the only way they're considered—I mean, they're humans.
They're rich.
They're not
Yeah.
metahumans. They're not mutants. Nothing like that. Yeah, they're rich and they're smart, and they're playboys. They're playboy philanthropists. Yeah, genius.
Yeah.
To be fair, but there's more in that as far as like the comparison between the two. There's more in that for Batman because they oh my god, the last few major runs of Batman have made it's like very clear there's a massive difference between Bruce Wayne and Batman, where there's not that much difference between Iron Man and Tony Stark.
Okay.
Good. I'm gonna get to that in a second. Blue shirt. Sorry, I don't want to just call you by your shirt, but
Had a comment.
blue shirt had something too.
I was saying that when it comes to Iron Man and Batman, it's not really a similarity to the alter egos. It's more, it is really just a similarity to who they are under the mask. And again, Iron Man's only gotten more popular partially due to Robert Downey Jr.'s
Yeah.
big
Yeah,
performance. And honestly, to a degree, it's a good thing Batman keeps a secret identity and stuff because if he does, the whole thing is if Tony Stark gets into a bunch of controversial situations, that makes people question his sanity as Iron Man. Bruce Wayne's doing a bunch of crazy stuff, and usually that stuff's on purpose. They don't think he's Batman at all.
He's just hiding
Right.
away.
He
It's just
doesn't
like
see
some
the
rich
flash.
dude. Yeah. You
But
know,
there's
it's
only the ultimate version, right, of Iron Man that gave up his identity, and the Marvel Universe just used it.
Yeah.
The cinematic universe just used it.
Wreck-It Ralph. What did you have, real quick? Did you have something?
Oh, I thought you would.
Are
raise
you
your
not?
hand.
I just. I thought you raised your hand. Yes.
You see what he does? Like,
See,
he
I just
puts
be
you on the
pointing
spot,
people.
right?
I just be like, hey, you. Go. No, but you're right. So, I feel like Robert Downey Jr. Jeez, Tony Stark is in Iron
Is
Man.
Robert
There's not
Downey,
much of a
yeah,
difference
that's fair.
between the two of them. Whereas Batman is the main character, and Bruce Wayne is just kind of.
Well, here's something
Yes.
I heard recently from John Campia's show when they were talking about the big Ben Affleck article that came out about why he was bad at Batman and why
wasn't.
and part of it was way that
Wasn't
he
the best.
was acting and thought that he was a bad person at the time.
There's no Dunkin' Donuts.
But
in
what
Gotham.
John Campea said he liked about Ben Affleck was he was the only one who pretended to play Batman, but actually was being Bruce Wayne. Like he played Bruce Wayne as like, oh, Batman has to disguise himself as Bruce Wayne, go to these fancy parties and stuff, but he doesn't really want to, and he really wants to do the Batman thing.
Because I mean that's how I take it.
Okay, so how many people here liked the Batman?
I did. I
With
loved
Robert
it.
Pattinson.
Oh,
Okay,
yeah.
how many people
They made
did
the TV
not
show.
care for it?
It's unfortunate we may never get a sequel anyway. So.
I did not care for it. I thought he was a great Batman. I thought he was a terrible Bruce Wayne. He was
Thank you.
too
But-
emotional,
Yeah.
and he didn't do the facade of Bruce
He's
Wayne.
learning.
And this is why
Not-
Jensen Ackles should play
That
Batman.
is-
Exactly.
It's so easy to be
Oh,
like
Batman.
Okay, all right. Before we get to you, hold on. I want to hear from the negative side, or not the negative, the disagreement
The
as to
mindset.
why you didn't like his Bruce Wayne or.
Look, from my view, is be Batman is easy because you just put a cowl on it and that's it. You don't have to act out it. It's the directors and the cinematographer who's doing the job for you. But to be the whole thing, you need to do a believable Bruce Wayne, and that's where the acting comes in. And I think that's where he failed.
Blue shirt.
I agree.
I was just gonna say one thing I actually did like about the Batman was how they did the reveal of Bruce's father having a connection to
Yeah.
Falcone. That was something that I've actually read from an actual old Batman comic, which I actually like a lot. Not putting any spoilers out there, but just the one thing
Oh my
I
god,
really
dude,
like.
this movie came out in 2022. What do
No,
you
but
think?
yeah, they do that
I
in
mean,
comics,
if
and that
someone
makes
Spoilers!
sense too. I mean, you're not gonna get rich without, doing a little shady shit. So that makes sense.
Dude, what? No, I don't believe it. Have you ever
I
seen
think
them in the
Bruce
same
Wayne's
room?
Superman.
No.
What?
Now you're on to something.
Chance to shout.
Okay.
What do you have?
So,
I like the movie a lot. I do agree, like the Bruce Wayne aspect was really because Matt Reeves, he said he was inspired by like Kurt Cobain and turned him into like this isolationist moody guy. But I think like it led, the sequel might come out and Robert
Will it?
Pattinson has gray hair.
In
But
Robert
5
Pattinson
years.
might be 90.
but
Dude, he's mad
but
about
I
it
think
too.
it led on to like I think it was like the mayor was like or the woman that was gonna become mayor was like, we need to see more of you and things like that. So I think it might build to like that Bruce Wayne.
Thank you. Okay, thank
I
you.
feel like it was good for because he's a year one Batman. He doesn't know how to balance.
He's year one. He's year two. Okay. So, but he's so focused on being Batman and fixing that way. And the whole point of the Batman, I know we have devolved into a discussion about the Batman, but was the fact that he had to learn how to duel, because even with Andy Serkis's Alfred, he was like, hey, you still need to like, it's even putting more depth to it, because
maybe Robert Pattinson
now
should learn how to
Robert
act like
Pattinson
Bruce.
has to.
Whoa!
Shots fired against my man.
All two
Don't
of you
clap for
calm
her.
down.
She hasn't seen The Lighthouse.
She doesn't
Have you seen
understand.
this? So good.
Yeah, that's good.
No, but
I haven't
keep hearing
seen that one.
amazing
Like half
things.
But
I'm gonna watch
he
that.
has to learn to be Bruce Wayne in my. So,
I agree.
what you? I saw your hand up back there.
Something in the way.
Yeah. Yes.
It's like half of his acting.
Yeah, he has to learn to be Bruce Wayne. He knows how to be Batman, kind of.
This should be a whole.
He was very focused on the detective aspect, which I
So
love.
next time we do a panel, we just need to Batman.
Listen, we're just gonna
We
take over
did it.
GalaxyCon. We're
We
just
did
gonna
it
run
last year.
panels after panels on 8 different things, right?
Okay.
Red Hood, what do you have?
Better than
His hand is here
Detective
for a
versus
minute.
just an action
Stark,
movie,
it was the
superhero
opposite.
thing.
I mean,
Yeah.
Makes it
Yeah.
different.
He had to learn how to
The only
be
DC hero
Iron
that's-
Man.
that's
He went too
basically a
far and
Marvel hero.
self-directed, but at first he was
Because
just
Marvel
Tony
likes to make
Stark.
their hero realistic.
there's two
Yeah.
conversations.
Rather than DC, which just
Oh,
takes gods
you good?
and makes
Do you
them
need a room?
into heroes.
You need
No,
your own panel?
Megan's listening to.
Why
I know, I'm
are
just
you
kidding.
so obsessed with me?
I'm just kidding.
Okay, so yes, I do agree with that. Like Iron Man and Tony Stark were.
Kind of had to learn how to be Iron Man instead of
And learn how to be a hero.
he had
Yeah.
to learn how to be a hero because to like reference the MCU again.
That happens.
His first
only been
mission
a
as
thing
Iron
since
Man
2008,
was
it's
like
okay.
egotistical.
Yeah.
Let us not forget Demon in a Bottle.
But I wanted to
Demon
hear
in a
what you had to
Bottle,
say
thank
too.
you.
And so he's learning. So I really do want to hear what you have to say. I'm just giving you crap.
Oh,
So
that's all the attitude.
I was
they
saying
have.
earlier that Batman, usually when he's bad as like in the comics, he's just a DC style superhero that's like supposed to be a godlike figure. But
He
when
did
he's
kill
good, he's a detective. And that's more like a Marvel
I
hero
love
where he's like an actual an actual person.
Okay.
Because Marvel
This is
likes to
gonna-
make their hero
I see
realistic.
where we're
No, I
going,
have-
and we're
so
gonna
we-
devolve
so
so
Batman
fast. I
has
know
an
we're
I
Iron
want
Man
devolving.
to. I
policy.
want to devolve so fast.
Iron Man has a I don't
Let's do
give a
it.
f how many people I kill. So how do you think that
It's more of a for Iron Man, it's more of like a I prefer not to.
Iron
But
Man
if
kills
it-
a lot of people and does not care?
He doesn't care, but it's like he doesn't go
Go
out
ahead.
specifically
But
trying
like
to kill.
yourself
Batman,
now.
Okay,
Holier than thou.
Batman is like Daredevil in regard of they go out of their way to make sure they're not killing people, even though I'm sure a lot of those people had brain bleeds and died later. But
We don't know that. We don't know that.
We don't know. They went to the
Off screen doesn't
Batman
count.
so many times has said, "You've got 16 minutes to get to the hospital, buddy. You'll be fine." A lot of the people that are villains that we know, and then I can't spoil it because it hasn't come out yet. There is some pretty clever takes on Mr. Freeze coming up, but if you're a fan of like Black Mask, some of the most metal stuff I have seen in a comic book was in Absolute Batman issue 6, where he punts a child. He punts a child. There's a villain who's like, "Please, sir, I'm just a kid."
okay, but that
He
was
goes,
a question,
boom.
and I think Absolute versus Ultimate comes down to who did it first.
Life preserver on top of the
He did. Okay. He saved the kids, like, but he punked a child, and I was like,
The life preserver definitely made it less fun.
Put the kids in the danger.
Hey, the mom did come afterwards. Not forget about that. They did jump into the water afterwards.
and then
so
he
the kids don't
stabbed
die.
Black Mask with.
Alright, we're gonna pull it.
Hold on, my man's here. I got.
I know you want to punt your kids sometimes. As a father.
I mean, I have 2 kids,
I
and
got
I
3
think
of them.
about punting them often.
Encourage-
Can I have a snack? You just had
You're the
17.
But also be fair, kids are very durable. They're very durable.
They are.
They're flexible.
The kids are very
Kids are made adorable as a survival instinct.
Bones ain't hard as
They can heal them back.
Okay, so let's go. So somebody said Aquaman and Namor. I'm gonna totally pull it back.
Yeah,
We're
no,
gonna
we
try
gotta
and
go
keep on
back.
topic
We're
this
trying to stay on
tonight
topic.
like we did not do last night.
We don't have to stay
So
on
who
top.
said Namor and Aquaman?
Listen, there was no
was
actual
Robin.
panel after us. So we could-
Okay, so raise your hand if you think Namor is better than Aquaman.
Well, the new Namor, yes, but not the one.
Is it because he
Well,
almost,
Namor-
it's
Okay,
because he killed
so raise
Angela
your hand if you
Bassett?
think Aquaman's better than Namor.
Lee's better.
Aquaman, dude.
Water jumps right there.
I don't know. I'm gonna pull up a Reddit
Wait,
reference.
did
I
Megan,
think
our
I would.
Marvel one,
Did you vote
just
for
say
Aquaman?
Yeah.
Go Queen. Go off
Okay,
Queen.
but also if we're talking swag,
Aquaman?
just think about
because-
it.
Namor.
Hold on. Hold on.
100%.
Okay.
First of
His
all,
pettiness
Wakanda
is
forever.
just should be
Aquaman,
stunning.
Aquaman because Black Manta.
Okay, I love Aquaman, but Namor totally steals Sue
Okay,
Richards.
Namor
His Riz is off the charts, but
No,
I
it's
do
not.
think
I'm a loser. I'm
He made a Riz. I will drown everyone here if you don't kiss me and mean it. Riz off the charts. It's illegal.
Hey, some
Yeah,
people
well,
are
have you
into
seen
that.
our government? Apparently it's okay.
No, no.
That's
Hold on.
Game respects game, though.
Blue shirt has his hand up.
I was just gonna say about Aquaman and Namor. Well, okay, just gonna say this real quick. Namor did come out before Aquaman.
Yes, he
did,
came out 39,
But
Aquaman's
I'm just
41.
gonna say this. Namor has been horrifyingly inconsistently written over the
Yes.
years. He is,
That's
in fact,
for
it's
sure.
actually believed to be based off of his whole personality is actually believed to be theoretically caused by a real world condition called the bends, which is
Oh, that's what you
where air bubbles in your blood kind of go in unnaturally from rising.
It's the pressurization
Yeah,
from like
from-
scuba.
And they
Yeah.
believe there's
Going
actually a
down,
connection
going
to
up.
Alzheimer's with
He's
that.
just,
They- like
he's just
astronauts get
unstable.
that too.
Whereas
No,
Aquaman, he is usually more consistently a hero.
He had Alzheimer's, but they think it's connected to Alzheimer's.
I actually, so I feel like that's a big problem in comic books.
That's
period.
really interesting that it's
Which-
connected to science like that. I think that's absolutely fascinating.
Agreed. I feel like a
But
big
Namor is the
problem
first mutant,
with
so he's the best.
Aquaman and Namor is nobody knows how to write the two almost sometimes.
Yeah.
I will say Jeremy Adams in again the Absolute series is doing a really good job with it.
Super Friends did it.
But it's because
Jeremy Adams
almost
has also written a couple episodes of Supernatural.
yes.
And that's
Scooby
right.
Natural. He did
And he's
Scooby
writing,
Natural and he
he's
did
I love Scooby Natural.
Me
And
too.
he's writing
So he did Scooby Natural and then he did
Aquaman.
the Mrs. Butters
He did
episode.
Scooby Natural
Oh
and he
my
did Mrs.
God,
Butters.
Mrs. He doesn't know what Scooby Natural is.
Oh,
yeah,
dude,
dude,
I
yeah,
love
dude.
Scooby
So
Doo.
if you
I
take this
just
sticker, at the
finished.
bottom is baby.
I just finished Supernatural for the first time. That's not this week. But Jeremy Adams is doing a great job, and it's almost like, what do I do with this character? Like, how many times have they written as jokes? They swim in water fast. They have powers.
Okay,
and-
I don't like that they always make fun of the like. Look at the deep and the boys. Why are we always making fun of people because they love the ocean? When it
We
comes
make
to
fun of the
Or
deep for
just
so
do-
many different reasons.
For the same reasons that Lauren figured out what a hentai was
No one
tonight.
makes fun of Black Manta.
The deep does a lot more
But
than
Black
subs
Manta
do.
is hard a like Black Manta is a oh my yes.
Super Friends did irreparable damage to Aquaman, but they didn't do it to Black Manta.
Dude, Black Manta's one of my favorite villains because he's such a badass.
He was in the I thought they messed him up in the movie. I thought
He is, and I love petty villains too. I'm a big
That's why I
petty
love
villain.
him.
I love petty.
I like Aquaman
Dude,
more.
Thanos-
Like, Game
Thanos
respects
birthday
game.
guy?
Like, Namor wants Sue so bad he'll do whatever it takes to get her. Like game respects game, bro. Like,
I mean, I
that's
do.
not
res-
gay. That's not gay. That's not gay.
Wait, what is your game?
I'm gonna get to you in a second. Pink,
We
hold on.
also have
Pink shirt.
Wolverine
Pink
on
shirt.
here. That's
You got your hand up.
Oh yeah.
Your hand was up.
I like your shirt.
Okay, so I wanted to say, like, so first off, like, when it comes down to clothing, right? What do we appreciate more
Raven
in
enters
heroes
the
villains? Do we appreciate petty heroes or petty villains more? Because if we like petty heroes, then I'm sorry, but like Aquaman is not matching up to Namor. But if we appreciate like petty villains more, then we all must love was it Black Ray, fucking
Black Man.
Black Manta?
Yeah.
We all have
I do.
I mean, but I love
The older I get, and the more I always joke around with them. I'm like, don't give me superpowers because as much as I want to save the world, like, my God, you people make it so hard sometimes that I would absolutely be like a Doom-like character.
That makes sense for you.
Because what the hell is going on? Just
One world under Doom has taught me one thing, and that's I think we just need a strong, what?
independent man with a steel mask, baby.
Why is it
Beautiful
only a
hair,
man?
beautiful skin as well. Certain opinions that
People in that area live really good. Mariner much better because they wrote him rewrote him. Stan Lee did to be the first mutant ever.
Yeah.
By his film machine. And then they rewrote him again to where he's the Mexican version or the early Mexican version of Black Panther, where his mother took the fruit of their country.
Ooh, Black Panther's a good one. I do want to. There is, in case you don't know, DC. Oh God, DC. DC ripped off Black Panther with their own Red Lion, actually.
Who?
Yeah, exactly.
Black Panther, Wildcat.
Matthew. So Matthew Bland is the president for life of the African nation of Burundia. He was introduced in Deathstroke Rebirth #1, October of 2016. Not a good guy. He has a very bright red costume. He's got like the Mufasa little looking around him. It's
Craven, yeah.
oh
What's the name of the nation?
Bronze Tiger and Black
Baroon.
Baroon.
I can't pronounce it. Come on, man. Like it's
Yeah.
Buredenia.
In my mind, I want Vixen to be like DC's Black Panther.
Ooh, Vixen's good. Well, they introduced Vixen back when the Arrowverse was a thing. We had the animated Vixen series that started. It was supposed to tie it all together.
Yeah, that was good. I saw the online.
Scarlet Witch.
I feel like, okay, so there were some people we actually wondered
It's not
if
Zatanna.
there's nothing comparable. Zantana's not comparable.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like Scarlet Witch, I almost feel like doesn't because Zatanna's kind of differently.
Doctor Strange.
But they're the same Marvel, right?
Who do
There's
we
no.
have for Doctor Strange? Doctor Fate?
Yeah, Doctor
Okay, so
Fate.
Doctor Strange, actually, now that you bring him up, we have Doctor Fate.
Yeah.
You want to talk about Doctor Strange, Doctor Fate a little bit? Fate, real quick.
Really quick, who do you guys think would win in a fight, Dr. Fate or Doctor Strange?
Dr. Fate's a pimp.
But would you say that about the original Doctor Strange against Doctor Fate, or the new Doctor Strange against Doctor Fate?
Megan, we
Early
said we're not going to
Doctor
argue tonight.
I want to argue tonight.
That's weird. I just want to go like Doctor, but it was not Doctor Voodoo. Who is it?
Doctor Who? Yeah, good one.
Doctor
I was with like Brother Voodoo with Doctor Strange.
I pay money to see that.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
the thing. They're the same Marvel, but like I was supposed to say those two are more copies of each other.
It's a Miles Morales.
It is a Miles Morales.
So who do you think would win, Doctor Strange or Doctor Fate?
I
Do
think
you?
Dr. Fate, actually.
I
think
like.
Dr. Fate now.
Yeah.
It's a reverse Miles.
But here's the thing with Doctor Fate is Doctor Fate's powers through his helmet, though. Whereas Doctor Strange, I guess he.
Well, Doctor Strange is better.
But the helmet is stuck to.
That right, right. Unless you're Pierce Brosnan.
Are we talking about?
I always feel like Doctor Strange is too cocky and that works against him.
I like his cockiness. I think I've been
And like maybe he just doesn't
I mean-
for me, maybe that's why. But somebody did ask about Quicksilver and Flash.
So,
Flash was
Flash-
1940, Quicksilver is
yes.
1964.
Yeah.
So Flash
So
was.
that's a big difference.
We're not gonna get into Barry or Wally.
No, Wally's better.
All we know is Barry's not the fastest man alive, even though he's labeled the fastest.
Barry
man
always
alive.
called.
Is somebody back there doing
Do you have
sign
2 hands?
language,
What?
stretching,
No.
or
He's
has a
stretching.
comment?
We're putting this poor guy to sleep. Jesus. God.
Cheetah and Tiger.
Well, Cheetah and Tiger. That's another good one right there. Yeah.
What is it? I forget the actual comic book, but I have it posted on my wall, whoever it is. But
Describe it.
in issue 44 of this comic panel, it's right after the Crisis of Infinite Earths.
That might be a good
The
time.
end of Crisis of Infinite Earths, and they're doing a speedster race in Marvel, and there's a random speedster that shows up out of the blue called named Buried Alien, and he wins the race. Even Barry is faster than all of the speedsters in Marvel.
He does outrun death at a point.
That proved Sonic was faster.
I
Oh,
do.
That's been a thing.
You had your hand up.
I have a question about Flash.
Yes.
Both Flash. I'm sure I missed something somewhere, but if Barry created a Speed Force, how is Wally faster?
Wally is more in tune with the Speed Force.
plot.
But you created. I mean, I'm the guy that created the Speed Force. Speed Force and I was one.
Yeah, so
Okay, so it's kind of like the guy who the person who created the internet is not as good on the internet as my 7-year-old because he grew up with the internet.
Right.
that's actually that's a really good analogy. I didn't even think about
Well,
that.
I guess the analogy of like, did the man who invented college go to college?
True.
What we're talking about.
College. Interest rates.
The Wallace in the animated series. Now it's just a reversion of Bear, right? They just wanted a kid.
More or less, yeah.
They just wanted a kid version.
All right, somebody said Darkseid and Thanos earlier too.
Darkseid better.
Which Darkseid? Okay, so
Not in movies.
I say Thanos just because the birthday thing.
I love the birthday
he
thing.
is so again. I love a petty villain,
I
so
love the
yes.
pettiness. So
Darkseid was actually Darkseid was first. He came up in Superman. Superman's pal Jimmy Olsen, number 134, 1970, whereas Thanos appeared in Iron Man 55 in 1972. Thanos was created by Jim Starlin and Mike Frederick, who even admitted that DC's Darkseid was an inspiration because Marvel was essentially like, I don't care what it takes, we need to copy what Darkseid's doing.
Raven has a comment.
Yes, Raven.
Okay. We do have that on here. It's down here. Where was it?
I think we have Raven on here too.
Find it.
It's right here.
Raven and Scarlet Witch. Yeah, Raven.
Scarlet Witch.
So who do you think?
We were just talking about that.
Gotta look so much.
We have Spider-Man and Black Spider.
Where's Micah?
Well, hold on. Before we get there though, we do have Catwoman and Black Cat.
Yeah. Who do you think came out first?
Catwoman.
Catwoman. Yeah. 39 years before.
Black Cat did?
Yes.
Yeah. That's wild to me.
So Batman issue 1, 1940 was Catwoman.
Yeah.
Black Cat came out in The Amazing Spider-Man 194 in 1979.
Ooh. When we were talking about this, we actually compared Raven to Magic. So Eliana, anybody watch X-Men, the animated series?
Yeah.
Yes.
So
I'm a Magic man in Marvel so.
Who's Ileana's copy though?
that's what we were
That's what-
arguing that it's Raven. So Raven came out in October 1980, and Eliana came out in Giant Size X-Men number 175. But you guys think that Raven is more doppelganger for Scarlet Witch?
Well, it depends. If not Scarlet Witch, then who was Scarlet Witch's copy? Because we were talking about this earlier.
I don't know if she has one.
Yeah, we were talking about some that just don't have a doppelganger, at least yet.
Yeah.
I mean, because that's gonna happen to everyone.
Copied Raven in the movie.
I want to hear what
Because they couldn't use the word mutant,
Hold on, Raven.
Yeah.
What'd you have?
but not in.
I'm agreeing with them. I think it's a valid doppelganger between Raven and Scarlet Witch, because it's mostly just telekinesis kind of deal.
Yeah, I mean Raven's power comes a little bit more from
From the underworld.
right.
Because in the end, similar characters from different branches start to, as they exist for longer, they start to influence each other.
Right.
And, the difference between them becomes.
Well, and you have the same artists and writers go from DC to Marvel back and forth. So yeah, they're
I mean,
not
Greg
all the
Capullo
same.
right now is working for Marvel, for example.
Oh yeah, a lot of
so-
them are. I mean, you look at the Hive Mind. They
Oh, yeah,
write for Marvel
Jackson
and
and
DC
Collin,
at the same
yeah.
time. Yeah.
It's
What do you have?
not just Nightwing and Invincible.
We were talking about that, weren't we? Go ahead.
So I actually
I
wanted
couldn't
to bring
get
in the
in
boys,
Invincible.
but I was trying to keep it a little.
Come on, you gotta power through.
But
You
see,
shouldn't
okay,
have
so
to power
Robert
through
Kirkman
it.
though.
But it's good from the beginning.
But Robert Kirkman and Garth Ennis aren't being subtle in the fact that they're ripping off and making parodies of these characters.
Oh, yeah.
So I feel like that's a little different. Whereas, go ahead,
Ooh.
blue shirt, Lucas.
He said,
Dark Menace. I know. So if anyone here actually likes Dark Menace's stuff like The Boys, you like the story's fine. Just that after
Can we shamelessly
realizing
plug?
that Dark Menace really hated superheroes and a lot of his work is just him venting how much he hates it, it kind of becomes hard to divorce the two because he puts a lot of negative emotion into the writing of The Boys.
It's a fun one between hate and terror.
So, fun fact, we've actually talked
that's
about
fair.
this with Derek Robertson, who is the
Right.
artist for The Boys, and they kind of touch on that a little bit.
And one of the questions I had when we interviewed him was it ever difficult to draw these scenes because they're dark? And he immediately was like, no, I have a sick mind. That's one of the highlights of our podcast, honestly. But no, I do understand that. And like, I guess for me, because I enjoy it and I love it so much, I can enjoy the satire of it while realizing this may not be coming from a light. And like what Robert Kripke is doing is not as bad as what Garth Ennis created, but then when you see God from Supernatural doing the things he's done, it's
Eating
just
ass,
like,
baby.
I'm just here for the ride. I'm just enjoying it. Are you watching The Boys?
I am watching it. I'm not saying that you can't watch it. No, I'm just saying that
It takes it away a little.
I'm just saying take a bit of caution. Don't try
Yeah.
to feel like, oh yeah, Garth Ennis is like this brilliant guy.
Oh yeah.
Be a little careful. The guy, he needs a little help.
Oh yeah. Whereas Robert Kirkman, I feel like genuinely loves superheroes, and Robert Kirkman too, he loves happy endings. So if you want to read a comic and you know it's going to end well, like even Walking Dead had a very good happy ending in the comic. Well, the show will never end.
Happy ending. I'm just saying it's not about how the story. It's not about the content. It's about what the story's trying to say. It's like the way Garth Ennis tries to write superheroes, he just tries to basically say that superheroes in general are just bad. He's saying there's no.
He's saying anybody with power can't be good.
He's saying people in general, if people get powers, they are going to be bad regardless. He's saying there's nothing good.
Well, Starlight never went bad.
Exactly, but
I don't like her in the show, but I like her in the comic.
But also at the same time, they don't write her as a perfect. They actually write her.
But nobody's perfect.
In the show, they say that she's not perfect. Like she has done some.
I genuinely hate her in the show. I don't know what it is. Every season I hate her more. Maybe because I love Jensen Ackles and she was mean to Soldier Boy.
I'm just saying.
I know that's not healthy.
She's so annoying. Like when she was
really
powering
is.
up, and the biggest thing that happened was a flash of light. Like sit down. Like you've
Thanks. If
embarrassed.
I'm ever stuck in a dark tunnel.
You've embarrassed all of us here.
My
Even
power went
get
out.
A more superhero universe that gets the idea of what a real world would be like without superpowers. In my opinion, would actually be My Hero Academia because yes, there would be a lot of people that would be doing crime, but there would be people actually trying to do good.
There would be a real good mix, yeah.
Like, no, it would be like 2 or 3 people actually doing good.
Right, and Homelander's killing them as
We're
soon as they get
commercializing it.
Is she not bad because she never uses her powers?
She doesn't
Pardon?
have powers.
She's not bad because she never uses her powers.
Kind of, probably.
Just sucks.
Hold on, I got a good point about a good and bad. So, Jason Todd, since you're Red Hood, I do want to talk about this because we do have a good comparison.
Also voiced by Jensen Ackles.
So Jason Todd and Bucky Barnes, they are. We do have Jason Todd. Go ahead. You know, Jason Todd did come in Batman 635 February 2005. They introduced, obviously Bucky Barnes had always been around. However, you know, Bucky Barnes came out as in 1941. But his first actual iteration as the Winter Soldier wasn't until May of 2005. So 2 months out. A lot of this stuff is funny because Jason died, yes.
When did Jason turn into Red Hood?
Oh, we have that here. Actually, I think
So
Megan put that
as
in.
Red Hood, February 2005.
Okay, so
But Jason died in they let. Did you guys know that they left it to a vote whether or not? They literally vote.
There's a
He
lot
died.
of evidence of tampering.
Yeah.
In a vote that would never happen
Never.
in this country.
In the United States.
Did they mail it in? What do you have?
Also, now, on the topic of Red Hood, there is one good character in Marvel that's a copycat of Red Hood, or you could say it's the other way around. Winter Soldier.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. So they were 2 months apart. So Red Hood came back February of 2005, whereas Winter Soldier got introduced May of 2005, which is always funny because it's, how did they find DC and Marvel? Somebody was probably, hey, guess what they're doing? You should do this. Oh shit, Bucky Barnes. Yeah, it's a great idea. You know, he was basically the same thing, and because a lot of these, as we found through research and just reading comics, a lot of them are mere single-digit months apart. What do you have?
So, but also Red Hood was like a copycat of another DC like kind of villain, which is
The Joker. The original Joker.
well, no,
Well,
that's not. I was talking
one of
about
his
Red
many.
X.
Yeah.
Oh,
Red X, yeah.
But also, I know.
Did you say
The-
my dad?
No, they said Red X.
Even though Deadpool
Like, that
Are you
sounds like
okay?
shit you need to talk to your
copy
therapist about.
of the DC character Deathstroke, there's another DC character that copied Deadpool called Red Tool.
Stop.
That's just me in the summertime when I get a sunburn.
What?
I'm the red tool. I'm a fucking goon.
Oh, because you're a tool and you're red?
Anyways, speaking of red, what do you? Hold on.
I was as confused as.
I wanted to know what to expand out in the super teams. Like, you know, of course, the big one is Justice League Avengers, and then.
Oh, that's a whole other conversation. I would love to,
Well, that's already the whole
but
thing. That was already the whole thing.
before we do have some more red character. Raven. No, go.
I was gonna say, have we talked about Wolverine and Lobo?
Okay. I was gonna mention Red Tornado and Vision because, like, Red Tornado was 2 months before Vision, and his first iteration in 1968 was to kill, just like Vision was. But yes, we do because Lobo, we have put that. You're the Wolverine expert, so why don't you take this?
Well,
one?
experts. Okay, so Wolvie obviously came out in 1974 and Incredible Hulk 180 to 181. I think Wolverine is genuinely the best at what he does. I think he is a genuine hero. I think every time he acts like he is a villain, it's because he can't admit or accept the fact that he is just nothing but awesomeness. Like, he makes the tough decisions, but he always makes the right decisions, and he still struggles with that. The only time he makes bad decisions is when he's being brainwashed.
Lobo was a parody of Wolverine. So you're right, he is a dick. For that reason.
I don't know Lobo well at all. I have not read comics. I've read a lot of Wolverine.
Oh, you haven't read him?
You haven't read comics?
I've never read a single comic. Shocking.
Thanks.
No, I've never read a
We
Lobo
don't read comics,
comic.
actually.
I've never read a Lobo comic, but obviously we're about to get him on the big screen with Jason Momoa. And what's interesting is when we were preparing for this panel, because these two originally prepared it, I ended up joining last minute. They live in Virginia, I live in Florida. And I put Wolverine as not having a doppelganger. And then one of the two of you today was like, oh, what about Lobo? And I'm
Listen,
like, what
do you
about
see what I have to deal with on this podcast? It's Wolverine this, Wolverine that. You know, DC sucks.
He's
Martha
the best
this.
at what he
Okay,
does.
well,
Even if
Wolverine
what he
over here
does
cries
best
about
isn't
Jean
very
Grey
nice.
every 5 seconds. At
This
least
is the best
Batman.
Cyclops yesterday.
Yeah, you know, at least.
Lobo's out here, you know, he's just doing his thing.
Okay, so I want to ask you guys, do you know anything about Lobo? Because you're more Marvel too. Okay.
Lobo Ghost Rider.
So outside of regeneration, how does Lobo relate to Wolvie?
Well, other than the fact that he was literally a parody.
I mean, a lot of people ride motorcycles.
Neither one knows how to
You
shave
say they're both
fully.
pissed off?
Lobo literally means wolf.
Oh, that's funny.
But Wolverine's not a wolf. And fun fact, Hugh Jackman thought a Wolverine was a wolf and was like acting like a wolf.
Don't worry, I'm with you, Raven. We can drop the mic after that moment. We don't have to go into any of it.
That was a really good point,
That was a
Raven.
good
Would
point.
you like to come up here and get a free comic for it?
Oh yeah, we have comics. Sorry, Megan's been dying to give these away. I
And they,
forgot
like-
we had comics. I'm so sorry.
They've just been ignoring me this whole time.
We have.
so sick. Thank you so much.
Enjoy.
Robin said there's free comics. What do I have to do?
It got so quiet.
You can hit me with the crowbar. What do you have? You put his hand down. No, I'm not gonna hit you with the crowbar. I'm just gonna throw the battery or the.
You
the-
really
the-
do have a crowbar.
Is Joker here or Billy Butcher? What's happening?
No, he's just from the Mighty Ducks. It's the Bash Brothers. Come on.
I love Mighty Ducks.
Who doesn't?
Say.
What?
Brainiac and Ultron.
We have
Yes.
that
So
here.
Brainiac was obviously.
Alright, let Megan take it.
We do have that here. So Brainiac came out in 1958, while Ultron came out in 1968. 10 years later.
Wait, we compared the two? Are they really comparable?
Yes.
Why don't you think they
Oh,
are?
yeah. Okay. Good one.
AI.
Oh, is Jason Todd about to beat that ad? Oh.
I don't know, it's a weird thing. When it comes to Superman's like rogues galleries, I don't tend to like compare them, but I guess you kind of can. You kind of can. They're just weird. They're really weird. Like I don't know. I feel like Superman's rogue galleries.
Is somebody after us?
While there are copies of them, but the copies.
Open the door. Open the door.
If they're not super intense, then they're just that's weird. I don't know.
But
Like Ultron's super fucking intense.
he is. And what do you know? Like Ultron. How would you compare the two between Brainiac and Ultron? Who is more intense? I guess to you.
I would say Ultron's more intense.
I mean, Ultron kills the Avengers.
Yeah, I like that.
I
I like that.
Deadpool, and he kills the Fox. And
Deadpool kills everyone.
Punisher.
Deadpool needs a
He also
crowbar.
kills cops. Which never mind.
No, I think we were correct.
Did you cover the Ant-Man?
Ah.
We do have Adam and Ant-Man. We do.
Yeah, they are very similar. They're really identical.
We so
I feel like
So Adam was first introduced in Showcase number 34, 1961 of October, whereas Ant-Man was, Tales to Astonish 27, January 1962.
So Ant-Man's older, and Ant-Man is obviously more
No,
popular.
Ant-Man is younger. 1962 compared to
64.
61.
61.
Oh, my bad. I'm really bad at math. But obviously
She's
Ant-Man's
a lawyer.
more popular.
Funny fact. I do love.
Captain Adam and Hyperion. Aren't they all Superman?
Yes.
Well, it's kind of like
Because the radioactive.
Superman and Sentry. Like Sentry's kind of a ripoff of Superman as well.
100%.
Yeah, I know we talked about that earlier. What do you have?
So
I just said that true.
So we're about to get Sentry though.
Yeah.
Who is Thor's?
I don't know.
I don't. Who?
I don't know.
I wouldn't say. So it's kind of like a blend between Superman and Shazam because.
Well, okay.
Well, I only say that for the durability and the lightning aspect because nobody in DC that I can really think of off the top of my head.
That's not fair because Thor from mythology.
Right, he's
Yeah,
not.
So before I get to
Yeah.
blue shirt, I know my friend in the jean jacket. You had your hand up. What would you have? Yes, you.
I don't think I
You're
did.
killing me, man. This is like the third time.
Sorry. He's Googling real quick. Blue shirt. What do you have?
Well, first, to say what you said earlier.
I knew it.
He had,
Got him.
He said like quite a few. Like there was Spider-Man and Black Spider.
Age of Spider, yeah.
Who is it? Micah was saying that earlier.
Oh,
Yeah.
Michael left, didn't he?
They're all.
He's right there.
Oh, his brother left.
Greatest counter would be, I thought John Constantine.
But well, because they dive into hell a little bit, right? That's a good. I mean, that is a good comparison because John Constantine does often dive into hell, and Doctor Strange more or less does as well.
Yeah, I guess I just feel like their personalities are so different. I never see them as doppelgangers, but that does make sense.
The Nova Corps and
Fuck
Corps.
Oh,
Oh my gosh.
He feels passionately about this. I hope you have that crowbar handy.
He's got the
Oh, tough luck, bud. Sorry, you're toast. Oh, he's got the clubs.
Between Marvel and DC, when it came to introducing some of the gods, who did that first? Who introduced their Egyptian or?
Because Jack Kirby with the Eternals was a nod to the gods.
Yeah, but wasn't the Eternals and everything were kind of ripped off of the new gods from DC, especially with Darkseid and things being introduced first. What's that?
Blue shirt, that was a really great question. Why don't you come get a comic?
I just love that Megan's keeping us on track. She's like, comics, you idiot. You have a whole trunk
Oh, and
full
it's
of
Perry the Platypus.
forward.
There you go.
What if you didn't?
We were calling
what
it
if-
blue shirt this whole time, not knowing he had Perry the Platypus on his shirt.
Oh yeah.
There you go.
I think there's a panel after us, I believe. I don't know.
The panel last night just didn't show up.
That's true.
Yeah.
We should kind of start to wrap it up.
I got to say Wolverine, which is obviously my favorite. So why don't Megan and you say your
Who's
favorites that you want to talk
Who's your
about?
favorite superhero?
Oh, just
Just in general,
it's
because
like-
we do have to wrap this up in case there's a panel after us.
Spider-Man, Moon Knight, Nightcrawler. There you go.
Nightcrawler.
Nightcrawler.
Ooh, why Nightcrawler?
Why not Nightcrawler?
Oh, dude, Alan Cummins in The Traitors is
I
a
almost,
saint.
I almost cried when they announced him.
It was.
The 4.5 hours was almost worth it.
It was, yeah.
We have a new hand back there.
Yeah, come on, yeah, you.
You gotta come get a comic too.
Come get a comic and tell us what your hand was up. Yeah, what did you say?
Come on.
Do you think there was really any counterpart to like did Marvel ever have a counterpart to something like the Green Lantern Corps or something?
The Nova Corps. I would say the Nova Corps.
But I don't think it was ever.
But I don't think it was like
a super knockoff.
no.
Yeah.
Metahumans.
It's metahumans.
And people
Oh,
discriminate
everybody's
against
hands
them.
are. Back first. Hold on, we'll get 1 second.
I've heard like Doom Patrol and the X-Men.
Doom Patrol and the
Alright,
X-Men.
we
I
have
could
them.
see that. What do you have?
I was just gonna say, I kind of realized, wouldn't the counterpart to Thor be Diana? Because they both introduced the primary.
Come get a comic book for that one.
We actually
Okay, that's
said, does
really
Wonder
good.
Woman have a doppelganger? And we're like, but
That's
a good
really
one,
good
yeah.
because they're both from Thor. I don't know why I never
They were
connected
both
that.
ripped off. Yeah.
Yes.
It's really good.
Actually, there's another one I was just thinking about. Where there actually is both a Hercules in both Marvel and DC.
There is.
Oh wait, who did Egyptian Pantheon first?
Marvel.
It was.
Hawkeye. Or Hawkeye?
Moon Knight.
Is that
But it's Alien first.
Well, Black Adam, he had some mythology. Was
Yeah,
it
he
Egyptian?
obviously his mythology was changing
Again,
the
I haven't
hierarchy
read
of the
Black
DC
Adam comics.
universe. Duh. And instead, he took John Cena and he turned him heel and he made a kid cry.
I didn't
Oh,
hate Black
no, she
Adam.
doesn't watch
I
wrestling,
thought it
I'm
was
sorry.
good.
I do.
That was.
Who is watching the anime? We talked about like.
Probably don't have one
Winter
Twitter.
Soldier. Talking about Winter Soldier.
Did y'all see Carl
Hold on,
Lumbly
hold on,
is
hold on,
John
hold on.
John's dad, and he's voiced John John.
Well, my man's has something we got
Oh,
right here
Wreck-It Ralph.
before we wrap up. We do have.
It was like OG Bucky and then like Dick Grayson Robin, like his sidekicks.
I mean, they were the OG sidekicks. You are correct. Because Robin got introduced very early.
Wait, someone said Doom Patrol.
Well, they were. Hold on, right here first.
I wonder if you had any information on Captain America being a ripoff of S.H.I.E.L.D. from Archie Comics, which is Pep originally.
Ooh, my wife loves
Because
Archie
they both
Comics
had the same
too.
shield
Archie Comics
based on the flag the president had.
Yeah.
But then Marvel got sued and had to change it to a circle. So they couldn't
I
have
love suing people. Before we
I
do.
love that information. Come get a comic.
Mr. Miracle and Ragdoll.
Oh, see, we didn't have Mr. Miracle's mom.
Not a lot of people know about it.
Who said Doom Patrol and X-Men?
I said Miracle.
Come up.
Doom Patrol is actually like 4 months before X-Men. They came out both in 1963.
Dang.
I think Doom Patrol obviously evolved into
Brendan Fraser deserves
and what the
world.
fuck is their catchphrase?
Yes.
And I think the X-Men took a life of their own,
I think
obviously.
Molecule Man would be Mr. Mixed.
Those-
Molecule Man?
Yeah. I thought we had
Oh, so
one.
Swamp Thing and Man Thing.
So we did. Oh, someone did say Man Thing earlier.
Swamp Thing and Man.
Yes, we did have
So
them.
Man Thing is May 71 and Swamp Thing is
That was
July
the elongated
71.
man.
And they both have very similar origins. Scientists caught in a field experiment which transforms them into a monstrous creature. But how cute is Man Thing in
We
what was
need. It was Werewolf by Night. Oh.
No, it wasn't Werewolf by Night.
Yes, it
Oh, it was Werewolf by Night, my bad. How cute was he as Ted?
She came at you hard there.
I know. You see this?
Because I was thinking Moon
All right,
Knight.
one last one before we wrap up. Blue shirt.
Dracula, both Marvel and DC.
Oh, that,
Oh.
fuck, that reminds me. Sorry.
We put Morbius,
Morbius and
Man-Bat, and we
Man-Bat
didn't think of
because they're
Dracula.
both scientists looking to cure in. Yeah.
I can one up the Man-Bat one.
She-Bat.
Man-Bat and the Lizard. Kurt.
Oh, son of a
Kurt.
bitch.
Damn it. But again, and gosh, blue shirt, come get a comic book real quick.
Wait, here.
You've been crushing it.
I feel like
Absolute-
Red Hood with this son of a bitch. should
I
come
feel
get a
like
comic
Red
too.
Hood and my man's in the pink shirt as well. We got 3 left. Is that right?
Well, wait. Pink shirt.
Pink shirt and Red Hood.
I already had some picked out.
Okay, I'm sorry.
That's
This is hers. I've been talking too much. What you have?
One of this friend right here. Yeah.
Yeah. I have a ton of my. I was about to say, come to my trunk. I have a ton.
No offense.
Come on. I have so many in my trunk. I do have a ton. But as. Well, I didn't even see the back of the shirt until now.
I didn't either.
Oh my god. Blowjob Princess.
Hey, those aren't easy.
That's going on all of the GalaxyCon socials, damn it. Right there for that. That is amazing. That. Amazing. Just. Alright, so I believe there is a panel, maybe. I feel like they're coming at any point, but as we do wrap up, you said yours, Flash, Aquaman, and Batman are my holy trinity, if you will. I mean, you're not gonna like my answer. It's Barry Allen because
Of the wonderful things.
oh,
he
I
does.
did. I'm
Oh my
old.
gosh.
Yes, Robin. At least I got to grow up. Damn
Oh
it.
my god.
But Robin, we're both adopted, so I don't want to tell you. I'm sorry. It is Barry. I do like Barry because for me, Barry Allen is. I don't have anything against Wally. I just have always gravitated. When I started reading Flash, he outruns his depression, which is something I've been trying.
It's a genuine question. I'm just asking.
In fact, the faster he runs.
I love to
the
run, and we both
faster he
outrun depression. Blue shirt.
I literally just remembered something I wanted to this is a deep one. Batman for DC and Marvel had their own Batman that, called Nosferatu, I believe.
No, that's with Bill Skarsgård, and he totally hangs dong, and it's on Beast's wall at his house.
I might be misremembering it, but they basically created, in She-Hulk, there was a character that was basically like a female knockoff of Batman.
Really?
Where her parents were like hippies, apparently, before getting shot in
I
an
mean,
alley.
who wasn't?
Batman and Thrasher.
Damn it, come on, man. I could legitimately do
So
I'd live for
we
this.
have to wrap up. There's allegedly another one after this.
Allegedly.
We won
Last night there was a
the
Disney
la-
one, but
last
they never
night
showed up.
ghosted.
So,
They just didn't do it.
how do you follow up? I mean, come on, guys. What am I saying? Like, come on.
DC's better than Marvel. I don't see anything.
I am a bigger
That's why
DC
you
fan
didn't come.
personally, so I think
Megan and I
DC's
will
better.
see you outside.
Oh, okay.
He
Just-
can't die.
just
He's got
don't
guns.
bring that
He's got a
crowbar.
knife. You see that?
Hating me. At the end of this, 99% of the characters were first DC.
Yeah.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you. My man.
First doesn't
Marvel
mean
DC changed comic books for him.
But
I never said that. Yeah.
Okay, I think what Marvel did better was the Iron Man movie. That's
Shut the.
no, that's
Okay.
no. I'm
I
not
think
kidding.
what DC did better was The Dark Knight.
As far as pop culture goes, when
It was
Iron Man came
Dark
out,
Knight.
it changed everything and made Marvel a household. It made Rocket Raccoon a
Did
household name.
Iron Man
Meanwhile, all
win
DC
an
ever
Oscar?
did was Batman and Superman
No.
over and over again. And like,
Ledger
I grew up
did.
watching Michael Keaton.
Heath Ledger won an
Spider-Man,
Oscar.
yes.
I got called Spider-Man today.
Well, clearly you guys look alike. It's
Because
all
you
the
have a
blood,
bat on your
and it's
shirt?
all the dark.
It's Black Suit Spider-Man, obviously.
Obviously.
Symbiote Spider-Man, what do you mean?
What the hell?
Did they think? Yeah, did they think you were Venom? But that still doesn't make sense. You have a bat. on.
It's obviously the helmet that looks just like Spider-Man. Clearly.
I think it's a troll. It has to be a troll. I think
This is actually 3-1.
Maybe.
Ben Reilly,
Or just a
Spider-Man,
dumbass.
Oh, Ben Riley, yes.
Connor Kent, Superboy,
Oh yeah.
and their amalgamation, Spider-Boy.
I wish Ken was here because he loves Ben
He
Riley.
fucking hates
Ben
that.
Reilly is my
My God.
USA shit. Oh my god.
I'm so excited.
All right.
All right.
Legitimately though, guys, you got the past 2 nights. A lot of you guys that come here, I cannot tell you how much fun it has been getting to talk to everybody here, getting to interact. That's what Comic Cons are all about. I hope you. I won't be here tomorrow. We won't be here tomorrow. I hope everybody who is here the rest of the night or tomorrow has a great time. You can find us. You can grab stickers if you want to find us, whether it's our comic book reviews at Nerd Initiative, Hopsgeek News, Megan.
And
Vigilante vibes.
And sometimes we do live podcasts where people can chime in and comment.
That's right. Daredevil and Spider-Man were on our show last night, and I have so much editing to do that it's going to come out soon. But seriously, thank you guys so much for coming to talk
That's a
comic
pretty
books.
color.
I can't wait to see you guys again at another
Yeah.
thing. So thank you, for real. Thank you.
Mighty Mouse versus Courageous Cats.
Yes, I hope you